Let me now move on to the next contributor to our roundtable, Shailesh Haribhakti. Shailesh, you chair a couple of boards in India and you sit on several boards as independent directors. But somewhere we are going wrong in, in equitable distribution of the wealth that is being created, which even a while ago Mervyn talked about. So what are your thoughts on SDG number 10, reduced inequality? And please help me manage the time. 3 minutes, please. Over to you, Shailesh Bhai. No problem.
Thank you very much. Let me begin by sharing some of the things that we are doing on the boards. The good news for everybody in this roundtable is that ESG, supported by the 17 SDGs, have become mainstream on almost every major Indian company's board. And a lot of companies are committing to have an integrated report for this particular accounting year. So I'd like to start by that very important declaration that in India, the movement towards integrated reporting as an outcome-based reporting on multiple factors is paramount. I'll share with you 5 big practices that I have seen on boards that I'm sitting on. One of the companies is a financial services company, and as part of our inclusion, we have created an ability to reach out to more than 10 million rural folk, largely women, using digital properties. And the scale at which this digitalization is happening, even during COVID, is absolutely exceptional. And what this is doing is seeking to hit at the root of inequality, which is access to finance, access to learning. And that's what this company is doing through its defined massive transformative purpose. So this company is becoming the largest provider of farm finance in the country. And at the same time, it is now the largest giver of loans to renewable sector. So we've got the largest portfolio in India of renewables. So this is the kind of outcome that can be delivered if the correct thinking is in place. In yet another company, the entire idea of moving waste from power plants, the smokestack power plants, by rail has taken root and is moving at scale as we speak right now. Waste heat recovery has been installed in almost every plant as an investment in making sure that we are able to bring value from this whole process. Let me move to what the country is doing. The largest program of direct benefit transfer and indeed universal basic income and service is, as we speak, on its way in India. And I'm watching this extremely carefully in terms of its impact, because this is going to really strike at the root of making sure that the inequality in SDG 10 actually gets reduced. And that can happen only if we can totally impact 60% of the population of the country, which lives in rural areas and works in rural areas, to get them to double their incomes. And the program to do that is a combination of UBI, UBS, transfer of value, and now opening up the possibilities of retaining large values by eliminating the intermediaries and giving people access to where the best price is available. So this is one of the key transformational changes that India is making. And I'm sure that our journey from number 117 to the top 50 will be led by this transformation that the country is attempting. Let me give you 3 or 4 other things that are very clearly visible to us from corporate boardrooms and from monitoring the Indian situation. The new education policy has made it absolutely clear that education will be given to every person. And in the long run, it is only educating every person in the country that is going to cause the reduction of inequalities. Equally important is the new policy on making health digital. We did go through a huge problem in terms of making our health system cope with the black swan event of COVID-19. We struggled, but the country finally came out with more equipment, more masks, more hospital rooms, more recovery rooms than ever before. We are still struggling, and it's not a crisis that is over, but the direction is to make sure that this essential service is actually delivered. Finally, I would like to say that the tax regime in the country has been altered in a way that will enable the compression of the inequalities that we have. Keeping rates low, making sure that there is a completely vatable, no double taxation, indirect tax regime, simplification, faceless assessment. All of that is making a two-directional change. Everybody who has an income will pay tax, and resources will be available to make sure that the UBI and UBS programs of the government can be funded. Equally important is to note that privatization is an agenda which is very, very strong. It's only with this kind of regime that the true impact of compressing the difference between the highest earners and the lowest earners can be mitigated. Even in corporate India, we are looking at what is the range of difference between the salary of the highest earner and the lowest earner. So both on a micro and a macro basis, the attempt is to see, and particularly after COVID, we are seeing this, common practices to give munificently to make sure that money is available, purposeful money. And I like that idea of moving from CSR to purpose. And that's what we are seeing. People are voluntarily reducing their incomes, making it available for the purpose of making it available for the most needy. And that is the spirit that COVID is actually propagating. So I'll leave you with three words which are recurring. They are collaboration, innovation, and sustainability, defined by three programs of get to cash, cut the cost, make people feel safe, and make sure that consumption gets simplified. Thank you very much.
Thanks, Shailesh Bhai. That is pretty crisp.